people are struggling and looking for answers. God has given you the solution and has called you to leadership. Now it's time to grow and prepare while learning how to use your gifts. Jamal is an experienced leader that uses his gifts to lead change. Now he's sharing what he's learned with you so you can fulfill your leadership assignment. Prepare to be ignited, to lead like a champion. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Igniting Champion Leaders Live. I'm so glad to see you. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jamal Maxsam, Igniter of Champion Leaders, and it is my assignment to ignite you in your ability to lead as well as in your gifts that should be activated in your leadership, because as you exercise those gifts, it would enhance your ability to influence others and to lead change and fulfill your leadership assignment. And so tonight, I know it's a holiday week at the time of this filming, but I still wanted to come on live and really still wanted to share with you about this important topic. Because one of the things I just really recognize is that as leaders, there should be a certain posture that we take to seek certain things out, to pursue certain things in order to be successful. A lot of times, hey, Coach Paul, I see you, man. And so a lot of times people pursue leadership and they pursue the position and they think that's all they need to pursue. Once they obtain the promotion, obtain the position, get in place because they recognize, look, I'm called to leadership. It's time to fulfill my leadership assignment. And so they think that once they pursue and seek the position, that's it. That is going to automatically, all of a sudden, their charisma is going to click in. All of a sudden, because they listened to a few podcasts, read some books, even listened to me, that all of a sudden it's going to be automatic as they operate in their leadership, and they think there's the impression that they might not have to pursue and seek. And so what I wanted to talk to you about today is the importance of pursuing and seeking as a leader. Now, you know, those of you who know me, you know I talk about kingdom. I talk about leading from your faith in your assigned place. Talk about how you embody the kingdom of God in your leadership. And so, of course, the obvious answer for a believer would be, well, of course, I should seek God as a leader. Yes, you should. But there are other things while seeking God that you need to be intentional to pursue, to go after, and to seek. And we're going to talk about those things. And here's the reason why. Number one, promotion is inevitable. You can put that in the chat, whether you're watching live or listening on a replay. Those of you in Clubhouse, thank you so much listening live and on a replay. You can put that in the chat too. Promotion is inevitable. I want you to recognize that promotion is inevitable. It is inevitable that you will experience promotion and increased levels of influence. One of the things I recognized about the calendar year of 2022 is that we experienced increased favor, increased wisdom, and increased stature. That's one of the things I came in 2022 really sharing about believers in general, but especially those called to leadership. Increased favor, multi-dimensional favor with God and with people. Increased wisdom to release strategy and to help and to lead those we are called to lead. And increased stature, meaning influence, and people are going to know our name, and the weight of what we say and do is going to be felt in a greater way. Now, I'm telling you, I've experienced that as a reality this calendar year, and I believe that's going to continue into 2023. But here's the other thing I want you to recognize. As you realize promotion for you is inevitable, recognize that as our voices are heard even more, our influence increases. As demand for our gifts becomes higher, we have to keep the right heart posture. We're going to continue to increase. We're going to continue to be promoted. There's going to be an increased demand on the gift that is placed in you as a leader and as a person of influence. There's going to be increased demand upon the wisdom that you have, the the strategy that you can release. And as this demand increases, you're going to have to keep the right heart posture. You're going to have your heart postured a certain way. Because too often leaders, as they begin to experience success, they get prideful. Pride tries to enter in and then causes them to make mistakes, or they begin to think that they know it all and that they have arrived. Because knowledge will cause pride, but pride will cause a fall for a leader. So you have to make sure that even as you gain knowledge, as you gain experience, and yes, you know some things, that you want to still keep a posture of seeking and pursuing. It's not enough to seek, you have to pursue. And so we must have that heart posture of seeking and pursuing. So let me quickly define seek based on the dictionary. So the dictionary defines seek as going in search or quest of something. It means to seek the truth, to try to find or to discover by searching or questioning. As a leader, it's important to have the posture of questioning and asking the right questions, and always asking questions in order to learn and discover something. So we should always be inquisitive, asking questions to find answers. And then once we get those answers, we should ask more questions. One of the things that I did as a school leader is I employed questioning strategies. I would drill down and keep asking questions and questions and questions and questions until I got a solution. And then after getting the solution, I would ask more questions to improve upon that solution or take it to the next level. So you want to always be in a position of not only asking questions and searching for something, but then pursuing the thing that you are asking a question of, or pursuing the thing that you are searching. Now, there are 5 key things as a leader you need to be seeking and pursuing. Because a lot of people may be seeking and pursuing, greater productivity, which is good. A lot of people are seeking and pursuing greater profits if they're leading in a business. A lot of leaders are seeking and pursuing greater impact. Some of my school leader friends are seeking and pursuing, student growth. How do I help the kids grow more? How do we recover from what they deem as learning loss due to COVID? So there are a lot of things you could seek and pursue as a leader. You could probably list a lot of things that you need to go after, that you need to accomplish, especially going into 2023. There's a lot of goal setting, a lot of vision casting, a lot of people planning the first quarter. If you're a school leader, you're trying to plan out how you're going to end the year strong. And then so a lot of people are doing a lot of planning, seeking, and pursuing, which is okay. And so, but let me give you 5 things that you need to be seeking and pursuing right now so that you can make sure that you are in alignment with your leadership assignment. Because it's easy to spend our time seeking and pursuing a branch or a symptom and not the root. You want to pursue the thing that will cause other things to be impacted. You want to pursue the root of a thing. You want the thing that has the greatest level of impact, that's going to produce the greatest level of change, that's going to enhance your leadership in a greater way. All right, so here are these 5 things that you should be seeking and pursuing. Number 1, you should seek to know the people you are leading. Period. You need to get to know the people you are leading. You can't just lead a group of people without knowing them, and you cannot assume that you know them. You may have known them before you became a leader, but now you need to know them as the leader, and now they need the opportunity to know you and how you function as a leader, and they need to know your gifting in your leadership position. Now, there's a lot of research out there about strength-based leadership, and you guys have heard me talk about not only should there be strength-based leadership perspective, there should be what I call a gifts-based leadership perspective. You need to know the people's personality, and that comes by learning them and watching them, not by a personality test, because some personality tests don't reveal how people really act. It reveals how they think they will act based on how they answered the questions. So you need to learn them. You need to learn their strengths, and you need to learn their gifting. Some of this is learned by watching, by conversation, by interaction, and by discernment from God. And so you need to seek to know the people you are leading. And these are the people that you serve directly through your leadership, meaning the people that you are directly leading, the people you are serving directly through your leadership, whether they're considered your followers or people or your team, whoever, however you classify them, those are the people you want to seek to know. You need to know them, and you need to know them well. Now, the next thing you need to seek, here's number two, the next key, the next thing you need to seek is this. As a leader, you need to seek to know the people that you serve indirectly through your leadership. These are the people who are impacted by those you serve directly. Because as a leader, your leadership is multifaceted and multi-layered. You're going to serve and have an impact on people directly and indirectly. Meaning this, say for example, if you have employees, you seek to know them because you lead them directly. But they have an impact on your clients and customers, so you need to get to know your clients and customers. If you're in a school, you may seek to get to know the families of the people that the school serves, because you are actually directing your leadership towards the teacher. And so you serve the teacher, and then the teacher serves the student. But you need to get to know both, because you need to have this multi-dimensional, multi-layered level of leadership. I hope I explained that correctly. And so you want to make sure that the people you are leading directly, you know them, but also know the people you're leading indirectly, because you can't properly lead people in serving another group of people if you don't know that other group of people that you're supposed to be serving. Otherwise, you're just leading a bunch of people and you're just having a great social club, but you're not really making the impact. See, knowing the people that you serve indirectly, it will correlate in your ability to have impact. Because when you are leading people to accomplish the vision, you should be impacting them in a positive way. And you can't bring a positive impact to them when you don't know them. All right, so number one was you seek to know the people you're leading directly. Number two, you seek to know the people that you're leading indirectly. Now, here's number three. You want to seek to know your gifts, your purposes, and your destiny. Now, I am a firm believer that we have many purposes that lead to one destiny. A lot of times you hear people talk about purpose, and there are a lot of books on purpose, which is good, but I want you to be able to make the distinction as a kingdom-focused leader, when you're leading from a kingdom perspective, that there are multiple purposes that lead to the fulfillment of your one destiny. Meaning that in different seasons of your life, there will be a particular assignment or purpose that you need to accomplish in that season. And when that season is up, your assignment may shift and change for you to accomplish, which will be built upon the previous season, but then you may have something different that you need to accomplish. And then each time the season changed and your assignment changes, as you ultimately fulfill those, you are walking out and ultimately fulfilling your place of destiny and walking in destiny. And so each assignment builds upon each other, and each of it leads to the fulfillment of your destiny. So as a leader, you need to, especially going into 2023, you need to be seeking and pursuing to know your gifting, your purposes, and your destiny. You cannot leave your leadership to chance, and you cannot leave your leadership to rational thinking and just personal development alone. Your personal development as a leader is essential, but your gifting is just as essential, and I would even almost say almost more essential. Because if you can't operate in your gifting as a leader, you are shortening your ability and stifling your ability to influence and have an impact. So you need to know your gifting, your purposes, and your destiny. Because once you know your purposes and destiny, you can identify your leadership assignment very clearly. And once you know your gifts, you can exercise them to fulfill that leadership assignment and fulfill your purposes and destiny. And so a lot of people are in leadership but don't know their leadership assignment. They believe that either if they're in corporate, they got promoted because they were skilled at the task and at the job, and they can make a difference and they can manage. Some educators feel like don't know their leadership assignment. They felt like, oh, I went to school, got my admin license. Yes, I want to have some say so. And then they think, okay, I'm here for student growth. Yes, but what does that look like? And so you have to be clear on your leadership assignment, because as a leader, you have to know, you may know the ultimate result, which is productivity or profits in a business, or which is growth in education, or which is reaching the hearts of people. You know, if you're in a church setting, that might be your ultimate goal, and you may reach that, but you need to know your specific assignment, which is how you're going to accomplish that. The how is your assignment, and I'm gonna tell you, you're either going to be accelerating an organization or a place you're leading, or you're going to be leading change. Those are the two things that I found that every leader is going to end up doing. You're either leading change so it can continue to be relevant and so you can reach the people and accomplish your vision, or change has already been made, but now you need to accelerate it, meaning you need to keep it moving at the pace that it's supposed to so it stays relevant. And so you need to know your assignment, and you need to know how your gifts play into the fulfillment of your leadership assignment, because that leadership assignment holds the key to fulfilling your purposes and destiny. Because you can be in leadership and still feel like you're unfulfilled, and you could think it's the place that you're leading, or you can think it's the city that you're living in, or you can think it's the people that you're leading, and you might want to move, you might want to change organizations or do whatever because you think it's everyone and everything else, not recognizing that you just need to get in alignment. And so some of that dissatisfaction you might be feeling might not be you need to change any locations or place you're leading. It could simply mean you are out of alignment, and you need to get in alignment so you can feel that satisfaction or recognize you're in purpose. So that was the third one. You need to know your gifts, your purposes, and your destiny. Now, number 4, you need to seek strategy to fulfill your purposes and destiny, because seeking strategy on how to use your gifts in your leadership assignment is essential. Once you recognize that you have an assignment, once you recognize what that assignment is as a leader, once you recognize it's essential for you to fulfill that assignment, now you have to figure out or determine that you need to find strategy on how to fulfill the assignment. There's one thing to discover it and to know it. It's another thing to have strategy to fulfill it. And I'm going to give you an example. In the Old Testament, when Israel had to enter their promised land, they knew the promised land was theirs. They crossed the Jordan, and they knew Jericho, the first city that they took, was theirs. It was promised to them. They knew that was their assignment. It was their destiny to have that land. The next thing they had to have was strategy on how to take Jericho. And so that's the same thing. You can know you're called to leadership. You can recognize your assignment. I'm called to lead change. I'm called to accelerate, whatever the case may be. But now you need to get strategy on how to do it. And your strategy has to be location specific, meaning you can't use an assignment from your previous season of leadership, or a strategy from your previous season of leadership, and thinking it's going to be the exact same thing that you're going to do in this season and in this place. Yes, there may be some carryovers and some things you take from your previous successes, but you need to recognize that the strategy is specific to the place you're leading, the people you're serving, and the circumstances you are in. And that's why I say you always need to recognize that there is no blanket solution for what you need to accomplish, and thinking that you're going to get a blanket solution and then just apply it with fidelity and think you're going to get the results you want won't work, because you need to make sure your solution is specific. That's why you must seek strategy. As you're seeking strategy, You need to be seeking on the how to use your gifts in your leadership assignment, because you cannot go without using your gifts in your leadership assignment. I don't know how many different ways I could say it. It just is what it is. And so you want to be sure that you're using your gifts in your leadership assignment, and that you're getting strategy, not just on how to use your gifts, but on what else needs to happen to fulfill that assignment. All right, now here's number 5. And this is extremely obvious, but you need to remember, even as you are experiencing success, you need to seek and pursue this last thing. And what it is, and I have it in big letters for those of you watching the video, you need to seek God. I mean, there's no other way around it. You think you can be successful as a leader without God? You might. You might be able to produce some results without God. You might be able to make a little bit of money without God. But here's the thing. Your sustained ability to be successful as a leader and to continue to help others be successful, it's dependent upon how much and how well you listen to God. Because sooner or later, natural strategy will run out. Sooner or later, you have faced something you've never seen before. Sooner or later, you might feel like you're at your wit's end. Sooner or later, what the data won't be able to describe the situation, and there won't be any research to back what you're doing. Sooner or later, you're going to need to hear from God. And as a leader from the kingdom perspective, seeking God has to be your lifeline. Because regardless of what other people say and what other people do, what other people advise, it is the voice of God that's going to cause you to be successful. And I'm telling you this from experience, as well as I'm just telling you this from experience. The success I had turning around schools came because I sought the voice of God. Because I heard him tell me what to do specifically in each school that I led and for each teacher that I was leading. He also directed me on how to overcome the challenges as well as opposition that came as a result of me walking out my leadership assignment. Because leadership assignments aren't always pretty, they're not always easy, but they're glorious. And so you want to make sure that you're hearing the voice of God so you don't respond to challenges and opposition out of your flesh or out of your own strength, because it's easy to get angry, it's easy to want to clap back, and it's easy to think a challenge is the same thing as opposition. But when you hear the voice of God, you can recognize the difference. And it's easy to mistake needing to accelerate versus needing to change. And when you hear the voice of God, you can recognize, I don't need to accelerate at this moment, I need to do change. Or he will help you discern you don't need to come in changing, you need to accelerate and build. And knowing that difference, which is key, comes from hearing God. And also hearing God is what will help you to exercise the gifts that he's placed in you and not compartmentalize them and wait for a private setting to be able to say what you heard God say, or to be able to be used the way God tell you that you're used, or to discredit a gift that you think is a natural gift, or for some of us to be waiting till we get to a worship setting to try to use our gift and then get mad at that pastor or that leader and say they're not using me. Well, God has placed you in somewhere else to be used, and you need to tap into using that gift, and you need to allow him to speak to you about how to lead, how to use your gifts, how to hear his voice, how to hear strategy, and then how to release that strategy and implement it so that the people he has called you to lead can benefit. So those 5 things, I'll run through them real quick for review. Number 1 is you need to seek to know the people that you are leading directly. You need to know them. Number 2, you need to know the people that you serve that are impacted by your leadership indirectly. Number 3, you need to know your gifts, your purposes, and your destiny. Number 4, you need to seek the strategy to fulfill those purposes and destiny and how to use those gifts. And then number 5, which to me, number 5 is the most important thing, you need to seek God, period. And so, for those of you who are ready to seek God as a leader, to hear Him give you strategy about your leadership so that you can ensure the place you are leading is experiencing success, then I want you to join me. Because remember, I said at the beginning, your success is inevitable. Promotion is here. It's just a matter of time before you see it and experience it if you haven't seen it and experienced it yet. So you want to make sure that you have strategy not only to handle the success, but to build upon the success and to make sure you're fulfilling your assignment for the success. Success has an assignment. Somebody should put that in the chat. Those of you that are listening on Clubhouse, because that's fresh manna. Those of you who watching online, you should put that in your chat too. Success has an assignment. There is an assignment behind the reason for your success. And so I want you to join me. And this is being recorded on a Wednesday, December 21st, 2022. And so I'm saying that because next Thursday, December 29th, 2022, join me for the prophetic seek and strategy experience where you will get God's strategy for your leadership and you will be ignited and prepared to execute it. It's one thing to hear the voice of God. It's another thing to respond and execute what He's saying. And going into 2023, a lot of people are looking to hear the word for the year or the theme for the year. But I'm telling you, you're going to be ignited to not only hear the word of the year from God as what He's sharing through other people, but you're going to hear Him for yourself. Because I want you to be able to hear God for yourself. So as you're leading, you can be the one to share what God is saying and not be wondering what God is saying. And then in that same time, short period of time, you're going to get strategy on what you need to do to execute every month of 2023. Now, during that time, you might not get all 12 months, but you're going to know in the month of February, God is telling me to do this. In the month of March, He's telling me to do this. And then He will begin to flush it out more as you sit with God. So I'm going to put that on the screen again. And for those of you listening to the live audio or the replay audio, go to jamalmaxsam.org/2023 and register now for the prophetic seek and strategy experience. This is more than a masterclass. It is not a webinar. It is an experience because we are going to gather together in a non-streaming format and experience the power, the presence, and the voice of God, which is going to cause us to walk out this assignment for success. All right, so that's it for those of you watching me on the video platforms. Remember to comment, like, share, save this video. And I know, I'm not going to say if, I know it's being a blessing to you. So comment, like, share, and save this video. And I will see you next time, and I will see you at the experience. Remember, it is my decree, my prayer, and my desire for you, and God's desire for you, that you be successful and lead like a champion. All right, bye-bye.